ground.
What's up, guys? It's Alex.
It's Quinn.
It's Iconiccomic, and we're going to do a review of the Walking Dead Season 7 premiere episode. That was on Sunday. So, first off...
Oh, you want me to start?
Yeah, go ahead.
Alright, well, top to bottom, I love this episode. Top to bottom, you know, I think it was worth the wait. This whole episode was. Let's just talk positives first, then we'll get to the negatives later.
Alright, let us know what you guys thought in the comments.
So, the positives, right off the bat, the performances, I think, were just spectacular. Jeffrey Dean Morgan as Negan, he is scary, but he is also charismatic, where I buy into everything that he is saying.
He's almost like the Joker.
Kind of. I think he's a little more charismatic and human. You know, he's more human than the Joker. But just the way he... And Jeffrey Dean Morgan said something in an interview that I watched, and he said that Negan's backstory is that he was a PE teacher. He was a PE teacher at a school, and he was like cheating on his wife, whatever, and his wife got diagnosed with cancer, and so he stopped cheating on his wife to spend time with her before she died, and she dies in the hospital, and then the zombie apocalypse happens while he's in the hospital. They're in the hospital, and she dies, and he becomes like, he doesn't like want, you know, to be a leader, but like he tries to like save people and stuff, and people don't listen to him, and they end up dying. So he basically ends up, you know, making these rules where it's like, all right, you're gonna listen to me, or I'm just gonna kill you because you're gonna die anyway. And he said that if this 7-year journey would have started with Negan instead of Rick, you would be on Negan's side right now with what he's laying on the table. And I liked that, because thinking about it, I don't think Negan is wrong with what he's doing. The way he's going about it, however, is the evil part of it.
That makes a good villain. If you can justify a villain's actions, I think that makes a great villain.
Yeah, the best villains are ones that they think they're the good guy. Mm-hmm. Like a lot of villains are like, I'm strong in my convictions. This is what I'm doing because I think this is right for the greater good, but it may not be outside of their own mind.
Right. But
they still are thinking this is what's going to help people. And his performance is amazing. I think Andrew Lincoln as Rick in this episode
he sold it.
It was some of my favorite, because there's been episodes where not that I didn't buy him as Rick, it's just that it was just too Coral. I'm a BA, blah, blah, blah. This showed his range, because he got broken.
Yeah?
I mean, basically that whole trip out to the burning walker thing, he was like treating him like a dog. Go fetch my axe, bring it to me. Now I'm going to hit you until you listen to me. And then if you don't listen to me, I'm going to punish you again. I want you to look at me like I'm your owner, you're the animal, not the other way around. And I bought it from both actors. Both of them, like, that scene where it's him on the ground and Negan. By the way, there's going to be spoilers in this review. I'm sorry. Like, you know, if you haven't watched it, why are you watching this? But the scene where Negan's up top making Rick cut Carl's arm off, that is just, you're watching two powerhouse actors just perform right there.
They're feeding off each other, and it was just so well done when he's like when he starts to count to 3, and then you just saw the agony in Rick's face, and I don't even know what I would have done.
And the real snot coming out of his nose, and like the real tears, like people think that, you know, that's not a huge part of acting, but like being able to put on that was a good cry. Like that is a big thing, because I can tell fake cries when I watch TV and movies. Like, that's such a fake cry. That was a really good cry. I appreciate a good cry. Like, any please. It could be me. And then just slapping him, like treating him like dirt. And then the point after that where where was it? He said, you answer to me. You provide for me. You belong to me. And then I was like, and he's like shaking his head like this, and I'm like, okay. And then, speak when you're spoken to. And it just goes up another level.
Yeah.
And it completely changes Rick's character. Now,
Yeah.
it could change back, but he is not the same Rick that was going into this episode.
Not
Anyway,
even close.
what were your positives?
Well, I think it was a. It was like camping. It was really intense. But positives. I like how they didn't show who he killed in the beginning of the episode.
They could have very easily done that. Just bam.
A lesser writer would have done that, but I think they did it well with flashbacks. Now, I don't know if there's a rule with flashbacks, but not a lot of time passed. Maybe a few hours. But still, the flashbacks were done really well. That was probably my biggest thing. And then they didn't have a lot of overlapping. Like, the sneak peek where you saw, like, just the blood right here, Rick's looking down, and
this
Negan's
whole
in front of
episode
him.
was basically like 2 hours of actual like time in that world. Like
Yeah.
2 actual hours. Like right before dawn broke is when it happened, and then dawn broke, Rick's little test, and then the thing with Carl, and that was basically the episode. But it felt like a 5-hour episode.
You cut me off. I was saying something and I forgot. Thank you for that. But go ahead. I forgot what I was saying. The flashbacks were done well. Not overlapping. When like the scene with like the sneak peek where Negan's right in front of Rick, and it goes to dragging him into the RV. They didn't show that again and again. They showed the killing, and then they showed like a little bit of that scene, and then
Because the episode starts with that scene. They
Yeah.
could have, right after the killing flashback, they could have done that again. Maybe Rick will be with me and drag him, and it would have been pointless. But it was good writing, so they didn't
Yeah.
put that in there.
that was my biggest plus for that.
Now, emotionally, the flashbacks worked, but they still do the Walking Dead tease us, where they just, poke the bear, like, try to get us on pins and needles, where instead of just, like, I don't know if it was exactly necessary when he was doing the eeny, meeny, miny, mo, to do the, once he got to, and you are, and then point to everybody. I don't think that was necessary. I think it should have just been it. Like, because that doesn't make sense, the fact that he said you are, and then it points to everybody. Like, he didn't have time to go like this. That worked in the season finale, because it was like, oh my god, who is it, who is it, who is it? And then they cliffhang it. But in this, that was just I feel like it was just another cock tease. Like, it was like, like, it was another, like, who's it gonna be? Let's talk about the deaths. Yeah,
Thought they were
deaths.
awesome.
2 of them.
Thought they were both awesome.
I think the best part about them is that they both went out true to their characters.
They stayed true to their characters until the very end. The whole "suck my nuts" from Abraham,
That was so the
Was-
Abraham thing to say. Like,
that was wonderful. And just, yeah, like, that's basically the
and
main point.
Glenn, is trying to summer up the courage and the strength to say, "I will find you, or Maggie, I will find you." Abraham died, but like how he lived, and that was sarcastic. He was like a brute. He was an asshole.
Yep.
Glenn died how he lived, loving Maggie. That's who he cared about. And that scene was just so well edited and so well put together. Where it was like, there's some people out there who knew already because there's spoilers and stuff. I had no idea going into this. I guessed that it was going to be 2 people, and I guessed it was those 2, but they still tricked me because The Daryl
The
getting
Daryl.
up and punching
God,
him.
that made me mad.
As soon as he did that, I just completely switched my head. I'm like, okay, they're going to kill two people, but it's going to be Abraham and Daryl.
Glenn would still be alive if it wasn't for Daryl.
Oh, well, yeah. And I think this is going to affect Daryl for a long time. Like, his character is going to be affected. But punching Negan, and then it also showed a lot about Negan's character, because they even go over it in the episode. If he would have just been like, you know, that's Moxie, I like that, you know, whatever, get him back in line, I'll use him. No, what'd he say? He said the first one's free, and then the second one, I will shut that shit down. No exceptions. And he even said, I don't know what kind of lying assholes you've been dealing with, but I'm true to my word.
Well, let's get back to it.
So, back to it. And the makeup. The makeup in this episode.
That was awesome. With that eye, just like the comic.
It looked so real.
Yeah.
They should win. I think they're going to win an Emmy for makeup design and stuff, because, my God, like, it's... I felt like... I felt sick at one point.
My stomach curdled a little bit.
It wasn't the Abraham one that got me sick. It was the one shot that I went, ugh, was when it cut to Rick. I did like that, though, how they kept cutting back to him just, like, thinking about it, and then cut back. Cut to Rick, and you hear Negan go, "You bunch of pussies." And then hits Glenn, and all that blood just goes whoosh. That's when I went, ugh.
Yeah.
Because we've been with this guy since the beginning. Hey, dumbass in the tank.
Yeah.
Like, we've been with him for a long, long time. I give props to AMC because it's a ballsy move. In this day and age of television, normally, unless you're Game of Thrones, everyone's safe. If you're a main character.
Have you seen Game of Thrones?
I said unless you're Game of Thrones.
Oh, okay. I was like,
you're
what?
safe if you're a main character. And that's how Walking Dead used to feel. And I think it lost that after a while. Like, the first 3 seasons, you felt that any episode, these characters could die. And that's what made it exciting.
It's like you started planning, okay, well, Glenn is going to do this. Like, in your own head, planning it out, like, what they're going to do, where they're going to go, like, fan theories, I guess. Like, because it was a given, like, that every character... I'm sure people did it with Shane in the beginning, but look what happened to him. You know?
Yeah, like, the first 3 seasons, a lot of people died. It was when the show was at its peak intensity, and I think they're finally starting to get that back, because this episode reassured people that this is still The Walking Dead. Anything can happen. And, like, my favorite shot of the whole episode was the last shot of the... It was the last shot... it wasn't the... I can't remember if it was the second last shot or the last shot, but when the lone walker comes out of the woods and just, you know, starts eating the brains or whatever from Glenn. But a lot of people were like, that was gratuitous, you need to show that. If you say that, you don't understand the point of that scene, because the point of that scene, and I could be just BSing, but in my opinion, what I felt from that scene was all that just happened, and Rick sees this lone walker coming out, is showing you how insignificant the walkers are and how scary the humans are.
I think it's the opposite. I think it's showing how insignificant something like that can happen, because they're still in this situation where they could die any day from a walker.
I disagree. I think because the show is called The Walking Dead, the Walking Dead title is not about the zombies. It's about the humans. And
well, Glenn was not walking anymore.
At this point, I'm not worried about zombies when I watch this show. I'm worried about people like Negan, people like the governor. I haven't been worried about zombies since the farm episodes. Or the prison episodes. Ever since then, I'm like, these guys can handle it. They can handle zombies. Even hordes. We've seen them survive hordes. And that's why I think that last shot was just like, Rick's looking at the zombie, and 3 seasons ago, someone would have, like, put their arm out the window with a gun and killed it, or a crossbow. Now it's just like, we don't even care about that. Did you see what just happened?
Well, I guess you're entitled to your own wrong opinion. But anyway, I'm kidding. I'm just kidding.
All right, negatives. Go.
It was I think it was too intense. I think for a premiere, like, we had no foreplay, you know? I think with shows like that, with The Walking Dead, and I said this earlier, when you have big, long breaks, like what The Walking Dead does, I think you need to warm up a little bit. But then again, I guess I could see why they did it, because the shock factor, like, not only, like, we were shocked as viewers, but the characters were also shocked when that whole killing scene was playing out.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess it was a way to make us more, what's the word, more invested in the scene, and like we're actually there. But I feel like it was just too, it was a little bit too intense. And then the when he almost cut Carl's hand off, I feel like that may have been just them listening to fans, like, oh, they're all talking about the hand. Why don't we tease them with that?
The only reason I disagree is because this episode was filmed a long time ago, and the stuff about the hand stuff didn't come out until that sneak peek came out.
Well, fine.
Well, I really liked the hand scene because it was the final straw that broke Rick.
We're talking about dislikes.
I know, but I'm just going off of what you said. It's a give and take.
Your face.
Negatives, there's not a ton, but I'll say, I mean, it definitely could have been better suited as a season finale more than a season premiere. It felt like a season finale. Like, the way even the episode ended, I was like, wait, we get to see what happens next week? Because I expected,
right,
like, this is it, and then you have to wait a while. I feel like if you would have made this the last episode of season 6, people would have been, like, so hungry for more, and it would have slashed the backlash that the last episode got last year.
I think the only way they could have done it like that is not make, like, the second to last episode of 6, like, when he's pointing and all that, not draw that out as much as they did, and then take the premiere and then put it there. I think that would have worked.
I think you could just shift everything back and take away some of the filler stuff from season 6. Make the beginning of the finale last year the scene where he comes out of the RV, because that, whatever you say about the last episode of the season last year, and I loved it. A lot of people didn't like the cliffhanger. They thought it was just toying with the fans and just getting them to, like, you have to come back next year. I still liked it, but you can't deny how pins and needles good that scene was with Negan just toying with them while they're on their knees, just, you know, and the way he acted it. I mean, I think that you don't need to take that away. Just shift that to the beginning of the episode and then have whatever played out in this episode. Make it a 90-minute episode.
I don't agree.
Like a finale.
I think it would have drug out too long.
See, I don't think the episode that we just watched would be as impactful without that.
I'm saying, like,
scene.
If they did what you did, or what you're saying is just push that back and have it the season finale of 6, I think it would have just drug out way too long. And there are very significant attributes to silence, but if you use it too much, it's like what I was doing in the reaction to the sneak peek. It was like, say something, you know. But if you do, if you do that too much, it's just like you go to the bathroom and they come back, oh, he's still talking.
There wasn't a ton of silence in the finale. There was a lot of silent parts in the premiere, and I think they worked well on the premiere. In the finale, though, there was like 2 parts where he would just be silent. And I think it worked for what they were going for.
We're talking hypothetical too. We're talking about if they made that the finale of 6.
But yeah, that's
it's
my
hypothetical.
That's my negative, and it's not like it's a negative where I'm like, I'm so ticked off. It's more of a negative where I'm like, I think it could have better suited the show as a whole if they would have made this the finale of last year. Now, moving forward, I'm really excited about where this season goes.
I'm excited, but I'm a little worried that they can't raise the bar. I'm sure they can, and I'm sure they will, but that's going to be their biggest
Don't worry,
challenge.
the mid-season premiere is going to be amazing. that as a Walking Dead fan, I'm like, you got to know that the three best episodes of the season are the premiere, the mid-season premiere, and the finale. Like those are like always the 3 best episodes, like because they save all the good crap for it. Like they save the death of the governor or the death of Herschel or Negan for the last episode of last year and then the premiere of this year. They saved it. So you can't deny that they kind of have. There's always going to be filler episodes in television. You can't have an episode like that every week.
What if you did?
It wouldn't feel the same. You'd be numb to it.
Yeah.
If that happened every week, you'd just be numb. Be like, well, who are they going to kill this week? The reason why that episode was so impactful is because we've seen people die on this show, but in that manner and with a villain like that where he's just all-encompassing power over people. I had an argument with someone yesterday, and they said, if Rick would have just killed Negan when he had the axe in his hand or whatever, all the other people and his followers would have listened to Rick because the power shift changed. I disagree completely because he has brainwashed those people.
The power probably would have
shifted to Simon.
Went to the guy that looks like
Simon.
Yeah.
What? His name is Simon. Simon, what do you have? A hatchet. Hatchet? Okay, can we talk about that once? Where he's like, do you got a pen?
Oh, yeah, boss, I got one.
Well, he was just like, I love the way he said it. He's like, yeah. like it was just some kind of like, well, duh, I have a pen. Like, who doesn't in the apocalypse?
Or it's like he woke up that morning and was like putting all the crap in his pockets and he saw the pen and I was like,
I don't know if I'll need that.
I was like, and it's like, you know what? Just in case the boss needs a pen, I'm going to take this pen.
Like, for what other reason do you bring... I mean, were they planning on making a shopping list that day? Or drawing a map? Like, I don't know. But I did like him, though. Like, I like his character. I think it's kind of funny. He's basically... I was trying to think of a symmetry to somebody in Rick's group. Like, if Negan's Rick, who is Simon? Maybe Daryl or Glenn. But... Not to the bitch level degree.
Yeah.
Like he's Rick's right hand man. Well, one of them is now. Well, one of them. No, neither of them are. Oh, we didn't even talk about that. So Daryl getting taken. That might be the. Oh shit. What if that's what brings Rick back to we have to find him? Is if he kills Daryl. Like somewhere in the season it ends up happening. Like you know.
See Daryl's head on a steak.
Fans go crazy, Rick goes crazy, and then I want what happened in the first episode. I want to say it was season 5. May have been season 4. It was the premiere when they made it to Terminus finally. And it was the cannibals. We all knew they were going to be cannibals, but they didn't. And then they put them in like these boxcars, and they were basically just like, they're going to feed them and kill them and eat them.
Yeah.
And this is the first time I think Rick met Abraham and them. They were all in the same car, and it's like, you just hear Rick kind of talking, and he's like, they're going to be really sorry when they find out. Find out what? And he just looks at the camera, but it was so awesome. They're messing with the wrong people. And, like, it pumped me up. I'm like, I want something like that to happen this season where it's just like...
Just something that really gets, like, a rallying call.
Or it's just like, I'm trying to think of who's left that would be, like, a fighter.
Maggie.
But
she already kind of did that.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, I don't know who they have right now who's like a Glenn, a Daryl, an Abraham. They don't. And they like, maybe Morgan, maybe later in the season, because right now Morgan's kind of a bitch, where he's just, I don't want to kill people, I want to hit them with my magic stick and knock them out and then keep them in jail. But I think Morgan could be that guy where he just, if something happens and Rick just looks at him and it's like, we need to get ready. For what? For war. And just, that'd be so cool. That'd be insane.
Yeah.
I want it to happen.
I thought you were gonna say, I want a beard so I can do this.
Now, do you think this Negan's character? Do you think he has to end dying? Because in the comics, they keep him alive.
I don't think
and he puts him in a jail cell.
I don't think he has to die, but he shouldn't be in jail like that.
I feel like in a TV show world, with actors and actresses and stuff, he can't stay on the show forever as a villain. I think he needs to die.
I don't think he has to die, but you can make him like with him basically being told down by someone like he did to Rick. And it's like, okay, that worked for me.
Yeah, but I don't see him being a part of their group. Could you see him being a part of the group?
No, I mean,
as you work for
me.
A
part of someone else's group. Like King Ezekiel, or it's like, or you'll be a snack to my tiger.
I feel like this is going to end with one of four things happening. And I say four things because I want to keep my options broad. One, Rick kills him. And that seems the most likely right now.
Satisfying. Most satisfying.
Rick kills him, in my opinion, with, I hope, the bat. I hope Lucille. He kills him with her. 2, Maggie kills him. I'd be pretty down for that, too. I think that'd be pretty cool. Like, to see, like, Rick get a couple good shots at him, but, like, Maggie finish him off. Like, for what he did to her. 3, I think the tiger. That's a good chance. I really do. Because I think Ezekiel's going to be a big part in the kingdom. I think the two groups are going to have to work together to fight the saviors. So it could be the tiger that just... the jungle cat in the bathroom. I think he's going to attack. And then 4, I think it could be something as simple as what you were saying earlier, where it's just, Rick doesn't kill him, but leaves him to die.
Like, he's got Lucille like this, and then you see Negan, like, going like this, and then you just hear the sound of a bat dropping to the ground. And then he walks away. But then
he's definitely, if he has the bat in his hand, he definitely hits him at least once with it. But he doesn't do like what he did to Glenn and Abraham. Or you just leave
Negan. No, or he just takes the bat. He's like, nope. And just...
Nope.
You know what? Never mind that last part.
Nope. Like, I could see...
like in Inglourious Basterds, he just...
I could see Negan on his knees, and then Rick picks up Lucille and says, back to it. Bam!
Oh my god.
Or do a throwback like that. I don't think Rick's sadistic enough to do what he did to Glenn and Abraham. I say that, but he has bitten somebody's throat out before with his mouth.
With his bare mouth.
I mean, I don't blame him, but like, he could do something like that, but I don't think he would go as far. Like, I was talking with somebody else yesterday too. It's like,
how many friends do you have?
They didn't buy that he would get enjoyment out of what he was doing. And I'm like, he's a psychopath.
Yeah.
He was having fun. Guys, look at my dirty girl. Like, I love that painted that picture. Like, it was, this guy is a psychopath, and that's why I'm like, I think there's
real vampire bat.
He's gonna have to die. There's no saving him. It's kind of like Kylo Ren. Anyway, you have anything? Here, let's wrap it up with a final thoughts and a score out of 10. You go first.
I liked the episode. I thought it was really intense. I thought it was very heart-wrenching, but not too much. But I do kind of feel like it was too intense for a premiere. 7 out of 10. From a scale of 1 to 10, I would probably give that an 8.5.
8.5 out of 10. All right. I think it was a really good season premiere. Like I said, I think it may have been better suited as a finale, but I think it still worked for what it was trying to do. I think it added that emotional punch. I think it paid off the fans in the end because what they were wanting to see. They paid true homage to the comic book, and it introduced us to, I think, the best villain so far in The Walking Dead. I'm going to give it a 8.75 out of 10.
So average
8.6 something.
something.
Is our average. All right.
Cool.
So
yeah. So let us know what you guys rate it. Let us know what you guys thought down in the comment section below. Make sure you like,
comment,
share,
and subscribe
so that you don't miss a single thing from this channel. Best way to get in touch with us is through our email address. No one has done that yet, but we've gotten a couple things in the comments. But you can also hit us up on Twitter and Facebook. Let us know if you want us to react to something, and we will get back to you, and we will give you a shout out in the video that we do it. Good. Cue music.
Holy Grail.